Twitter.
You
Yeah,
got robbed.
yeah. I don't even know what I did really. I
So
mean,
did Lisa.
it is right. They don't even tell you, and then they say, "Don't bother answering because we're not going to look at your email anymore." It's literally what they.
What? They said that?
Yeah, I'll have to pull it up and read it, or I'll send you a copy of it. It's
Why
they
not
they
Christ?
went on and said, "Don't bother answering because we're no longer monitoring your email." I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay, okay,
I just want to point out they vote for this.
I know, I know. Speaking of voting, that's
Oh,
literally what
jeez.
happened last night. It just, I have been teetering back and forth with really not wanting to go, to be honest with you, because I could see that we all know this is being shoved through, but I really wanted to just kind of speak again in front of the people and just try
You
to,
owed it to yourself and your family and your community to do due diligence, and you
yeah,
did that. And
yeah.
I'm proud of you for doing
Oh,
that.
thank you, thank
Exactly.
you. It's funny how you could see it's just almost like an election. You have one side of the room with these flags and the other side of the room with their pennants, and everybody's cheer. It was unbelievable. And I'm just like, I had gotten in there late and they apparently cut off, the people to speak. And I didn't really know that. I mean, someone told me when I kneeled down, but I pretended like I didn't hear it. And eventually, after listening, I just said, I'm going to get back in line and kind of repeat what I said last time about, the responsibility that they have to understanding these sciences of the brain that literally download in these early years. And you're teaching gender confusion. Like, what right do you have to do this? This is not protecting people. This is, yeah, dare I say, human farming, animal farming, and creating people the way, and in the policy itself, it says, and the parents don't have to be told anything, and you know, it's again, mingling very young kids from kindergarten up to 12th grade in
Jeez.
bathrooms, and it's just crazy, and it's so common sense that you could see the people in the room. And look, I've been here a long time, and I know a lot of the people that live here, and there was people in that room, as I said to my wife, that are not from here. They were full of so much hate. And sure enough, the article in the paper today said some people that came from out of town, even. Yeah, no shit.
No shit, Sherlock.
Well, they started with me. They tried to make me, after I had said what I said, of trying to bring people together under common sense, and both sides of the room understood, and some people were shaking my hand and this and that, and I guess I caused a little bit of commotion, and there was a girl in the back, I guess, that didn't like it, and when I kneeled down, in the back, because I was trying to let people see, and I whispered something to a friend of mine, and she's like, "You're bothering me." What? What? And she
Oh my
she said
God.
it. She said it loud. And then when I had a smart ass remark, she loudly said, "Leave me alone!" Like loud forever. Like she was trying to portray me as some, aggressor. And so I just said, "I'm out of here," and just got. I can't be around this shit. And I said to the people as I was leaving, they're saying, I don't think they're going to get this through. There's a lot of opposition, and my last words are, "This is getting pushed through tonight." And sure enough, a 5-3 vote pushed it all through, and the policy itself is not specific as to who would even speak to these kids who are having any kind of behavioral issues or mental health issues. It just says faculty or teachers can at will, decided by grade who to intermingle. Like it's just so loosely written, and it's a shame. It's kind of like a stab in the heart. When you just, like Sarah says, and you say, Lisa, you see it and you just know what's happening. And as much as you're trying to do all this, it's like a little piece every day when you walk outside and look at the sky or go through things like this. And what you went through, Sarah, with getting geoengineered and dude, and it really, it hurts. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know if you've seen the latest, Tom, but they've installed 5G along the power lines, and they
I,
came in and put one right in front of my house.
I saw your tweet. I saw you say that. It's just,
We're in a war that we have no weapons to fight with. It's
mm,
like cavemen coming at the U.S. military with sticks,
mm,
and B, we're surrounded by people who like you said, don't know anything, and they're so polarized on the issues that all they do is fight amongst each other. We don't really stand a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's it is feeling that way. Like I try to
Yeah.
not feel that way having kids, and like you do too, and you try to, but that's the problem. I mean, like you said,
Mhm.
it's like waving sticks at the military. Yet there's so many of us that if we just really, you know, realized what was going on and acted in large numbers, I mean, all people have to do is not buy all this junk, not feed into it, and kind of
Mhm.
not fight.
So simple, like you say, that's almost more frustrating than what the evil powers are doing.
True.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you there.
Just mass non-compliance.
Yeah, and it does seem so
Not
simple.
violent. No violence necessary.
Not at all.
That's the stupidest thing you could possibly do.
And that's actually what they want too, because then they can steer that.
Oh yeah, that's why they're pushing the whole Antifa and all that shit
Yep.
as well.
How many countries
Yep.
right now are in their streets?
I know.
Violently protesting.
I know. And so many of them don't get any coverage, and they're just trying to steer the narrative. But there's a lot of legitimate people in there that really do feel like they're part of something. And then in places where it's happening, where they want you to know it's happening because they have an agenda, they're the only ones they're showing us, and they're pitching their narrative, and it just seems.
Well, it's ordo ab chao. It's order out of chaos.
Mhm.
They're promoting the fact that there's chaos everywhere.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't bring in Agenda 21 without creating the chaos that leads to the order.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's sadly, and steering it, like you said, the way they want it to go.
We were woefully underprepared for what Agenda 21 really is: AI world government.
Yeah.
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 Where it takes over every single part of our lives.
Yeah. I actually saw
our cellular makeup. I mean, down to our genome.
absolutely.
Yeah, actually, Sarah, that's a good segue. Like, do you want to talk about that whole that bio Internet of Things?
Yes,
I mean,
and
that's scary shit.
You found the bill first of all. If you wanted to start with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it with me, but it was that bill, like, to basically like creating like an agency to promote engineering, biotechnology and all that stuff.
Yeah, biodefense.
Yeah. Oh, and all sorts of. I mean, it's Tom. It's on my pinned tweet. It's part of my pinned tweet. That list from a week from last Saturday. So.
Is this a recent bill or a recent declassification?
Yeah.
Recent bill.
Yeah, recent bill. It got passed, I believe. Did it get passed, Sarah?
Yes, so did the Patriot Act. That's what this whole impeachment thing's nothing but a huge distraction.
That's right.
What's really going on.
Yeah.
And we've also been finding out more about how bacteria is how it links us up to the bio Internet of Things. I mean, there's whole papers on this. I mean, I've been saving shit. Sarah's been saving shit.
Yes, peer material she found.
Yeah, and there's also they have there's that one diagram, Sarah, where it had the components of the cell and how it was going to hook up to the Internet of Things. And I was thinking, oh my god.
I mean, flagella of the bacteria. And what pray tell might trigger this? 5G. The microwave tech protects the bacteria. That's why they're screaming antibiotic resistance. It's not antibiotic resistance. It's being done on purpose.
Yeah. This, and like you said, they're doing it right in front of everyone while everyone is screaming about fake impeachments and presidents, and it really. And I saw too that they're looking to do something over the holidays, as they always do, meet and pass all kind of totalitarian laws and changes over the holidays. And then to boot, what do we have December 10th? The YouTube, I'm going to take everybody down so that we have difficulty spreading truth over the next.
I find that very disconcerting. And one person on Twitter yesterday showed I don't know how many hundred Black Hawk helicopters in the parking lot of a Burger King.
Whoa!
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
I think I probably saw that, but I retweet so much stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been on as much. I guess you've seen. So I've some of these things
Well,
are.
that made me very nervous with the rushing in to, and I haven't been able to find actually what they changed. I feel like they changed something in the Patriot Act too, because it was Section 215 that they ran back through, and of course that's the surveillance part of the Patriot Act.
You know, now that you mention it, I think you're right, Sarah. I think I remember Ryan from The Last American Vagabond. I don't know if any of you guys watch Ryan. He breaks
I
down.
save his videos, but I don't watch them all the time.
Yeah, he breaks down the 3D world where you can see all the lies and the wars and what they're passing, and you know he's actually really really good, and he actually brought that up that there were changes that were put in there, and they did have to do with Fourth Amendment and surveillance and privacy rights, and most people don't even know what happened, you know.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like you said, it's very discerning, and it's you know, I have my good days and bad, as I'm sure you guys do too. You know, or some days I feel like, hey, you know, a lot of people kind of listened or made this that, and then there's other days where it's like, oh my God, beam me up, get me out of here.
Right. but avoid the white light, Tom. We don't want that.
No, I'm not doing this again. No, thank you.
But Sarah, but Sarah, vent to us about the last 2 days, if you don't mind.
Who, me?
Yeah.
The last 2 days of my life?
Yeah, well, because I'm only bringing that up because like she's been dealing with so much like all these people like trying to like just like coming out of the woodwork, you know, like distracting and you know like trolls or whatever. I mean,
Oh
she's been
wow,
ripping
really?
up the wall.
The closer you are to the truth, the more you get attacked.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
can literally tell by my attacks and by the shutdowns when I'm on something they really do not want out. And the closer you get, the more they come and try to discredit you. Had people asking me, you know, what's wrong with you? Well, that's a sure sign that that's somebody who doesn't care what's wrong with you.
Mhm.
That's true.
No, you're right. So what you've been heavily attacked the past 2 days specifically?
Absolutely.
I'll have to go. I haven't, like I said, I'm sorry, I haven't been on too much. I kind of caught.
Well, I just came out today and I said, you know, if I haven't known you, we're at the point in the game where if you don't know people, like I've known you guys for years, there's a few people I've known for years. Don't try to get cozy with me. We are not friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people don't realize that this is part of the war is information control.
Yep.
And they are absolutely determined. There are trained PSYOP agents behind these screens.
Yep.
Yeah. Very true.
It's kind of like that Delphi Technique link I sent to you, Sarah. I can send it to you, Tom.
Okay.
I got it from a gal on Twitter. But basically it's you know, it talks about the Delphi technique, which is what they use to like push Agenda 21 through like the local city councils and things like that.
Exactly. You know? That's what just happened to Tom.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Thank you, Lisa. We couldn't remember it.
That's okay.
You. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the name we were trying to remember last night, right? That's what we were saying. Exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened.
And the things we're sharing literally uncovers every agenda they have out right now. The bacterial, the biodefense and all that Lisa uncovered. Well, I went and hooked 5G to it. The next thing I did was looked at carbon. Carbon, it grows the E. coli. You know what lives in that is, you know, you hear the term black goo and it sounds so, you know, the blob, or people they keep it, you know, with words to where people think it's kooky or whatever, and it's a
like it's a bad sci-fi movie.
exactly.
Right,
Well,
right.
I feel like that's what we're in, is a
Yeah,
bad
I agree.
movie / horror flick.
I agree. If people
Yeah.
were watching this movie on a screen, they would be screaming, "How stupid are these people? They don't notice this. They don't." Because when you watch a movie, you see the bad guy script as well as the good guy script. So at some point, if they haven't come together, the audience is like, "This is ridiculous." Well, this has been, I don't know, what, decades now.
Yeah.
People,
So that's literally why they're attacking the trees and tearing down all the old trees and stuff, because the 5G is hungry. It has to eat and it needs
Mhm.
somewhere to live. And so the war on carbon is literally not a war on carbon, it's a war on where carbon's going to go.
Hmm.
And if people actually would go look it up at Georgia Tech, I shared an abstract about a year ago to where the AI it is feeding off of our pineal glands through using Tesla tech, the Zenith wave. If people
Mm-hmm.
look that up, it's all right there in front of your face.
Yeah.
And he's hailed a hero. Well, I'm of the belief that Tesla is the opposite of a hero, and he took good free energy and inverted it.
Well, that's certainly regardless, that's what they're doing now. That is been completely
Well,
inverted.
if you go look up the New Yorker hotel where he lived, he
Mhm.
ran 5G tests there in the early 1900s.
Okay.
None of
Okay.
this is new tech. The ancients used it. The pyramids run off of that tech.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. We've been through this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, as you said, people kind of think, well, because, not buying the tech, not feeding into it, that will make a big difference. But they don't realize, like you said, the poison that's already around us, that's affecting us every
Well,
day.
I stopped doing Twitter for 8 months. It didn't for one day stop the attack on my home,
Hmm.
my person. I was still sprayed with nanotech every day. I'm still being hit with frequencies. Abstaining from tech, while it's good, it also shuts you down where you have no voice.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It's a double-edged sword. You're absolutely right.
And I talked to people around here, and I told y'all last time, they realize that it's reading their minds, but they don't care, and they don't hook that to the larger picture, which means you have no mental privacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just showing you an ad because you thought that, it knows every thought in your head. A person brought up on Twitter, how does it know how many views your tweet has? And they said, this may be a stupid question. I said, no, that's an astute question. I said, they know because the AI can read your thoughts. I just shared a tweet about that. It's all out. It's just people are so dumbed down that my hope for an en masse awakening is pretty much nil.
Yeah, minimal at best. And it's really interesting to realize that so many people have tried to explain that we're talking Wi-Fi, energy, electromagnetic energy to begin with. That
We're not taught that in school. That
no,
should be one of the number one things you're taught. I
yep,
didn't learn a thing about plasma. They tell us, they lie to us. Y'all know that. Space is not dark matter, it's plasma.
hmm and
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
99% of our known universe is plasma.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that you realize that. I don't know. I don't want to say it was different when we were in school, but we did have an avenue to ask questions, and teachers were responsive and there was a lot more common sense, but it was still a repetitive indoctrination of facts that weren't true, and we know that. And look, though, how many people have gone on to make that their lives. Like, we can't pull them from these. I know people that you just try to explain the most basic, simple things that are common sense, like you said, the greenhouse effect, and it's like they completely just don't get it anymore. It's like you said, living in a twilight zone.
Yeah, and the sad thing is they're going to pay with their lives.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. You're going to pay with your life, your child's. I mean, somebody shared that Google said there would be 54 million people in the United States by 2025. How do they think that's going to happen? There's 324 million people in America, somewhere around that. I mean, some specific numbers around the 300 mil mark. That's almost 300 million people gone.
Yeah, and like you said, that's just here.
Right.
Yeah.
Forbes, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Forbes came out this week or last week, I can't remember, and they showed a map of, you saw that, Lisa?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, of like the elites like hiding places, or like where they want to go or something like that.
Well, yeah.
When the shit hits the fan.
He's just bought land there in the safe zone. Ted Turner has 2 million acres there. Ralph Lauren. It's easily verifiable.
Where is it? Where's the map? Where's the safe zone, quote unquote? I didn't see the map. Montana?
Yes, but like western Montana in the mountains, northwestern, because there's going to be water through there according to their map. And what I found interesting, you were talking about, Tom, this is nothing new. It showed on the map Atlantis rose in the Atlantic Ocean along the East Coast.
Yeah, these people have never left.
You can't make it up. I could never think of a script like this.
Nope. See, that's like you said, the thing with knowledge. It's been so convoluted, yet there's so much truth out there that is difficult to put together if you keep one mindset or another. But it is all there. Like you said, you couldn't make this up. There's too much.
Exactly.
I'm at the point now with my awakening that I'm there pretty much for you guys, the other people that are awake and can see, because at this point I feel like I speak Russian in America.
Yeah.
That's how far away from. I can't even go back to the tricycle. Does that make sense?
It does. Oh, it does. Yeah.
Somebody told me you need to explain something last night, and I said, okay, no, because I
can't do it anymore.
I can't.
I know.
I did my time. I did patiently explain things to people for years and years, but you hit a certain point and you no longer have that capacity.
No, yeah, and I'm the same. I've hit my limit a while. I mean, if I do respond to some asinine tweet or comment, it's only because it really tried to negate the information that I was putting out. So I might just put one little contrary thing to what they're saying. But
they force that. That's forced.
Right. But these people, they want to continue on and tell me this, explain that. Like, I lost that years ago. I have no interest in any of those people because, like you said, most of them are
and I'm
paid.
grateful for the newly awakened that can help those people. This is a staged process.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Sarah.
And we need, like, okay, the 5G coming through the power lines. Let's think about our gatekeepers too, guys. Because we've been told, watch these cell towers. Okay, I'm going to tell you, A, it's coming through your power lines. B, the towers are the size of a micron and the size of a postage stamp. To me, that says one simple thing: false hope. That's false hope that you could take those towers down and be okay, and you cannot. I'm here to tell you, you cannot. And all those things I just said are verifiable by the very companies doing it.
Well, interestingly, as you say that, I'm looking out my window at the brand new huge wires that were placed up here over the past few months running through the neighborhood. And there were a set of wires that ran through, but they were,
just had them redone.
Yeah.
That's a sure sign, Tom. Go
I
take
know.
pictures.
I know.
I just had a quote unquote line guy tell me that fiber optic wire was being used to hold up a telephone pole. Are you kidding me? With duct tape on it?
Yeah. You told him to get whacked.
You've got to be actually kidding me. Not to mention we've all grown up with power lines. I've been looking at power lines for 35, 40 years, and they don't have copper jerry rigged to them from a fiber optic box. In fact, we didn't have fiber optic boxes back then. How did telephone poles and light poles stay up then?
Right.
Mhm.
Right. You know, now that you say that too, Sarah, I'm realizing because, you know, I drive a lot. I'm actually from outside of Philly, so I go up to visit a lot. And I have noticed this because these wires, like you said, they're unique. They're very large and they're not the same. I've noticed the same exact setup running across 95 and neighborhoods up there.
There are pods. I'll send you that link.
Okay. Thank you.
There's
Thank you.
pods to look for that are along the lines,
Okay.
and then check and see if fiber optic is run up. I just
Okay.
had a girl DM me that she had it in her neighborhood too, so I'm hoping she'll put that up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how funny was that, Lisa? How
Yeah.
they did it to where it looked like something Fred Sanford would put up, but
Oh, yeah.
the tech in the box is Israeli 5G tech. I
Yeah.
traced the company.
Yeah, I saw that was like Ray. It's the beginning with Ray.
Ray Kim.
Yeah.
Trace the company back, and it's fiber optics running through there and RF, microwave technology. But to the uneducated eye, it looks like some country jerry rigging.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's brilliant. They're brilliant.
Yeah, they are. It's sad to say, but they
And
are.
it's demoralizing as well. Here, we're going to fry you with this, but this is how much we think of you. We're going to just put it up in that way. Does that make sense to where it's half-ass done?
Yeah.
It makes sense, and I also give them a stone cold salute in response. If you get my drift.
Yes.
I have the same
If you get my
thing.
drift.
Yes. Yeah. It's and so much of it is in our face now. Like you can see, they just don't care. They really know where they have the aggregate mindset of people, and they're just
they know
doing it.
you. They know you. The brain initiative. I just shared that someone kindly enough sent me, and wow.
Uh-oh.
Sorry guys, a hawk just flew by. That was really neat.
Wait, like a hawk, like a regular hawk, or like a chopper?
Right by my window. I live by a lake, so it's very common. And he wanted to let us know he was in approval.
Oh, cool. You know, actually, that's cool. Kind of cool because hawks and eagles are well, at least according to like, I don't know if it's new agey, but they're like messengers of spirit.
Yeah.
All New Age did was take what is real and good and twist it.
Exactly, just like religion.
Native American teachings twisted in a way to harm people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Not even just Native Americans. That's another point I made on Twitter this week. The indigenous people lived all over the world until Rome paved the street into their community.
Correct.
Period. We were all indigenous people. I have, I was talking to you, I have Druidic heritage, and I also have Native American heritage. And that's the part I draw from. I think I probably always did before I realized it.
Mm-hmm.
And someone made the point too that many Native Americans celebrate Thanksgiving, and that's tragic to me. I could almost cry right now. They were indoctrinated to the point that the ones who did not accept the indoctrination were killed off. They were genocided. That's what the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was about. Remember the Native American? Because they couldn't break him. He wouldn't forget who he was. So it's just, this whole week is just a sickening week to me because 300 million people were killed. I wasn't told that as a kid. We killed a few Indians because they were in the way, and
but then they come out with movies.
Into an Indian reservation, it's a what do you call those camps? Like
concentration camps?
Yeah, basically, they're wired.
Re-education camps.
Yes, that's right.
It's funny
Oh.
that is also the corporate terminology when you have to go for a retraining or re-education. And I remember when they started using that terminology.
Well,
I,
we drove by our purported FEMA area, and there's a whole street. There's a Walmart, frozen freezer section. There's re-education camps. There's different levels, and they make it look like it's a prison. It's all set up.
and speaking of which, I like you said, the last night Mike Morales was talking about the California fires, which I only saw. I didn't remember if it was a day or two ago, but if you look at all these fires that they've had, and you go back to older ones, you had some videos, you had some cell phone footage. You don't see anything
Well,
coming out of there.
the blackout.
Yeah. Which to me, every night I think about those people and hope that they are okay. But God knows.
Yeah.
Fullerton Informer, he had a girl who was from Paradise, and I listened to her whole thing. And do you know what she said was causing the fires? The boxes on the electric lines.
Mm-hmm.
I did not put it together then,
Yeah.
but that's what it is. And do you know why they're doing that? So what are they screaming for now? Their government to take over their power lines.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that means? Y'all, all I can think, if you've ever read the book Atlas Shrugged.
I have not.
That's
What was it called again, Sarah? Atlas Shrugged?
It's by Ayn Rand,
Okay.
Tom.
Okay.
We have to kind of wrap it up. I think the meeting will be like ending soon. So
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah. Right. Time flies.
It's okay.
A lot of area, guys. I enjoyed it.
Me too. We have to do this again.
I'm sorry.
We
you
will.
lost the battle, man. I really.
Yeah, I was expected. At least we got some people learning. I mean, hopefully, like you said, some of the newly awakened will carry the torch as well, because a lot of us are burnt, very burnt. So, but yes, let's do this again. I mean, I don't know what your schedule is the next few days, but stay in touch. I'm around the next few days.
You
If you wish.
Take care, and Lisa, have a great trip, honey.
Yes, be careful. Have a good trip.